Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back. I know it's been a while since I've done a video on here, but I figured, instead of doing a long post on Facebook or any of my social media pages, I'd come to the screen and wish everybody well and reflect on this past year, which was 2019. Not only are we coming close to the end of the year, we are also saying goodbye to the 2010s decade. Now, I think it's safe to say that 2019 has been good to a lot of people, at least to those that I have seen on in person and have interacted with on social media. Like I've seen a couple of people um, either start new jobs, quit their jobs to either start new jobs or to start new businesses. I've seen people walk away from toxic friendships, relationships, and are just moving on to bigger and better things for themselves. Folks are bringing in new children into this world, have gotten married, and also speaking of that, I also want to give a personal shout out to my good friend Scott and his wife Brittany. Congratulations on your wedding that took place ironically on my parents' 34th wedding anniversary. And anyway, I want to say congratulations to you once again. I know I've said that to you guys many, many times throughout this year, but I really, really, truly mean that. You guys, you've been my friend. Sky, you've been my best friend since the good old days. But I wish you guys well heading into the new year, and I want to thank you so much for letting me be a part of your special day. Really, really appreciate that. I will say 2019 has also been really very well to me. Also, uh, about late 2018, I made a personal commitment to make 2019 my best year yet, and I feel that I've accomplished that and more. It all started out in my spare time. That In my spare time earlier in this year, I've helped one of my friends edit a movie that he's made called The Format, and I had a lot of fun working on the project and making some new connections while working on the project. Hopefully, next year we can finish up the movie and premiere it to everywhere locally in the neighborhoods and throughout the city of Cleveland and continue to showcase our artistic talents with the greater Cleveland area as well as the film community. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing up the project and see what happens. I mean, you never know. And probably one of the most hardest things I had to do was leave my job that I was leave my previous job at the zoo. I've been working at the zoo for about 4 years, and since in my heart, as much as I loved what I was doing there, I felt it was time for me to move on and pursue other passions, as well as possibly going back to school and pursue a degree later on in the future. I just wanted to say thank you to all my friends and my former manager, Chris, and also Maria, Lou, Francis, and all my friends and coworkers, former coworkers that I've had at the zoo, the best headed into 2020. I really miss you guys. Hopefully, when I have more free time in the coming year, I will visit you guys a little bit more often. And I just hope you guys are continue to do well and keep the animals keep the animals in check and not attacking people and all that good stuff. But anyway, despite doing that, I moved on to a full time job at Dot Camera, which really enjoy. I really enjoy working there, and being there made me feel like I never left the zoo because I quickly gained some new friends, some new connections, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. So we'll see what 2020 brings to me heading in with my new job and also my other goals and ambitions that I want to pursue as well. But right now, I'm just gonna stay focused on, you know, doing what I'm doing at work, and at the same time, save up my money and finances to upgrade to new equipment because I know I want to get some lights, some studio lights, a green screen, and maybe a couple of new cameras as well. And hey, we'll see what happens. I mean, 2020 may be full of surprises and blessings on the horizon. But anyway, going forward into 2019, probably one of the biggest accomplishments that I've done this year was purchase my very first apartment where I'm at right now. This has been one of my biggest goals ever since, really, since I've gotten out of college, as um, I felt like I really needed my own space to concentrate on, finding myself, building up my, uh, my networking area, and also to concentrate on my career as an artist. You know what I mean? I want to thank everybody for supporting me and praying for me to be able to reach this goal. And I continue to support you and pray for you that you guys are continuing to follow your goals and dreams and accomplishing everything that you want to accomplish and hope to accomplish heading into the new year. So I want to thank you guys for that. Again, um, I just purchased my first apartment about a month ago. I'm enjoying it and have no complaints about it so far. So yeah, moving on. As far as this year goes, there have also been some really good movies that came out that some of them I got to see, some of them I never got to see because I got too busy and caught up with certain things. Like I know this year has been dominated majority by Disney and Marvel because they had Dumbo, The Lion King, Toy Story 4, Captain Marvel. What else came out? Frozen 2. And I know Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is currently out right now, which I have yet to see. So hopefully I see it around New Year's Day or a few days after New Year's because I really, really want to see that movie. And and I'm just hoping that it's an improvement over the Last Jedi because ever since I saw the Last Jedi, I was starting to lose interest in not just Star Wars, but just the direction the franchise has been going ever since Disney acquired the franchise. But hopefully the movie is good. I've been hearing some good reviews on it, so when I check it out, I hope um, that they are right about what they're saying. Um, but mainly, the main thing was Avengers Endgame has been the biggest and most popular movie that has come out this year. And speaking of that, while I'm on that subject, I know this isn't Matt's movie moments, but I might as well go ahead and give a really, really quick, short review of the movie. I've been wanting to talk about this movie ever since it came out in theaters, but with things going on with the issues I've been having with my computer and life in general, I never just got a chance to be able to express my thoughts and opinions about the movie. But I might as well just do it right here, right now. I don't have to worry about giving out spoilers or anything because everybody at this point has or at least should have seen this movie because this movie has made over almost close to $3 billion. The movie's already out on DVD, Blu-ray, Disney Plus, or however you guys are watching movies nowadays. But yeah, here we go. First of all, I will say the movie was amazing. Let's just get that. Let's just get that out the way. The movie was absolutely amazing. It delivered. It met almost all my expectations and pretty much answered every prediction that I had for this movie before I went ahead and saw it in the theaters. For example, I predicted that Thor in this movie was going to actually take Thanos' advice from the end of Avengers Infinity War and actually go for the head. And boy, did he follow through and listen to what Thanos told him, because he came in there and he just woof cut Thanos' head right off his shoulders. Like I was expecting that, he was just gonna throw his Stormbreaker into, his head like this, but he did something I wasn't expecting. He just cut his entire head off, and that was like it was a cool, shocking moment, and I I just love that. Like it was cool to see. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just jump all the way towards the end of the movie, because as good as this movie was, I'm not gonna have enough time to talk about every single thing that happened towards this movie, because this was a 3 hour movie that didn't even feel like a 3 hour movie. It was mostly the Avengers just coping with their defeat. It was a situation of man versus nature, because they're really not fighting a villain towards the very end of the movie. It was just the Avengers fighting, nature. The fact that half of all humanity has been wiped out by Thanos, and they're just stressed out and depressed about it, because this is the first time that the Avengers have failed, and there's really nothing they can really do about it. They can't really think of a way to bring them back, because the stones have been destroyed by Thanos. Uh, Thor killed him, so even though they killed Thanos, they really didn't feel like they won or accomplished anything, because half of these guys' friends and families are all gone. So anyway, jumping towards the end of the movie, where Thanos from 2014 uh, came all the way to the future to stop the Avengers from bringing everybody back, which he failed to do that because the Hulk, who had the gauntlet on with all the Infinity Stones, snapped everybody back before Thanos could destroy the Avengers headquarters. And Thanos just decided to just wait for Nebula to find the stones for him so that he can uh, just destroy the whole world. And Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, they go up to fight and challenge him, which was an amazing fight scene. They were doing some amazing combo moves and tag team moves on Thanos, while Thanos was holding on his own. And then, man, this was the most shocking and most unpredictable moment that I didn't even expect to even see. We saw Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, Mjolnir, I forget how it's pronounced. Anyway, Captain America held the hammer and he went to town on Thanos. Like the whole theater. When I saw this in the theaters, uh, everybody in the theater, including myself and my mother, who saw this movie with me, lost their darn minds. Like this was the most shocking and most amazing scene throughout this whole movie, especially and also the scene that happened afterwards. But I'll get to that in a moment. Captain America, he went to town on Thanos. He did this Mortal Kombat like uppercut with the hammer to Thanos. He was doing some amazing combo moves with the hammer and his shield. He looked like he was about to beat Thanos by himself. He was summoning the lightning and everything. Like, That was an amazing scene. I loved it. It got the crowd and myself all hyped up and jumping up from our seats and everything like that. That was a fun moment in that movie. But then when Thanos just started to destroy Cap's shield, um, he brought down his whole entire army from the Black Order, the the Chitauri aliens from the first Avengers movie, and also those creatures that were from Infinity War. And it looked like Cap was about to. At first, I was expecting Captain Marvel to show up and just obliterate everything and everybody, but all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, you see Cap. He's walking towards Thanos, about to take on Thanos and his army by himself, and then you hear Falcon say on your left, which was in reference to Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and then you see Black Panther, the first Black Panther, Okoye, and Shuri come out of the Doctor Strange portal. And then you see Doctor Strange with the Guardians of the Galaxies and Spider Man. Basically, this moment right here was like fan service to all the comic book and all the fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe who have been following these movies from the first Iron Man movie, where we see nearly every single major hero and associate come out of the Doctor Strange portals to come and fight Thanos. Like this was like a dream come true to like everybody to see, like Doctor Strange, Spider Man, the Guardians of the Galaxies, Black Panther. You had Scarlet Witch, Ant Man and the Wasp, the Hulk, all together at the same time, ready to take on Thanos. And I will say, this is me personally. The best part of this entire movie was when Captain America said his famous catchphrase, Avengers assemble. Once Captain America said assemble, that's what got me almost. I jumped out of my chair and I was like, yes, 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 thank you, let's get it. Because if you guys are following the Marvel movies, at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, they teased it where Captain America was about to say Avengers assemble, but instead of him saying assemble, they it fade to black into the credit sequence. Like he said Avengers, and then he was like, and then it goes to the credits. But in this movie, this was like fan service to us when he said Avengers assemble, with everybody standing next to him, charging it and going after Thanos and his army. And also another great moment was when Scarlet Witch brought her. This was probably like House of M. Scarlet Witch uh, was fighting Thanos to get revenge for what the the um, the past Thanos from Infinity War murdering Vision to get the Mind Stone. So that was an awesome moment to see her almost obliterate Thanos and like nearly kill him. And then and also another part was when Doctor Strange. Well, first of all, Tony Stark went to Doctor Strange to ask him, out of all those futures that he saw when he was using the Time Stone, is this the one where he went? And he was saying, if I tell you what happens, it's not going to happen. And towards the end of the fight, Doctor Strange gave Tony Stark the signal, like this is the one. So Tony grabbed all the stones from Thanos, and he made his own gauntlet with his armor and everything. Thanos tried to stab, saying that he was inevitable, but this was like the perfect clap back for Iron Man to tell everybody and to tell Thanos, "I am Iron Man," and he just wiped everybody out of existence. He wiped out Thanos' entire army and Thanos himself, while at the same time, that moment just cost him his life. And I was not expecting Iron Man to die at first. I thought it was gonna be Captain America. It was either gonna be between Captain America and Iron Man that was gonna die, but it ended up being Iron Man. I'm not hating on Iron Man or anything. I love Tony Stark. I loved Robert Downey Jr. Uh, portraying Iron Man, but I thought in my predictions before I saw this movie, it was either going to be one of those two guys that was going to end up kicking the bucket. But it was sad to see him go. Excuse me, but I love the fact that Captain America was able to live, even though he ended up being an old man when he ended up returning the stones, as well as Thor's hammer to the past, and he decided to stay in the past to actually live his life and have that dance with Peggy, and him being an old man and not being able to fight crime or anything, passed the shield over to Falcon. Now, a lot of people I've heard had issues with Captain America passing the shield over to Falcon, but here's my thing. What makes Bucky worthy of holding on to Captain America's shield? And the reason why I say worthy is because Captain America was proven worthy to be able to hold Thor's hammer during that fight towards the end of the movie. So it would make sense for someone like Captain America at his present state to pass the torch, well, in this case, his shield over to someone who would be worthy to carry on his legacy as well as his name. So I know a lot of people expected it to be Bucky because that was Cap's best friend, and they go back from Captain America, the first Avenger during World War II, and all that good stuff. But with Bucky being brainwashed by Hydra, even though it wasn't his fault, he killed innocent people, and he killed Tony Stark's parents. He still had that guilt inside of him, and Captain America basically had to spend most of his movies and even in the Avengers, trying to save Bucky, trying to get him back and everything like that because that's his friend. Uh, so, with all that being said, I didn't think that Bucky would have been worthy enough to be the next Captain America and take his shield. Even though he's Captain America in the comic books, it just didn't feel right in the movies for him to take that mantle. I feel that Falcon was a good choice because here's the thing. Falcon, ever since they introduced Falcon and Captain America Winter Soldier, Falcon had he always had this respect for Captain America. He was always fond of him. He even was willing to sacrifice himself to uh, join forces with Black Widow and Captain America to face Hydra and take down Shield. He was also supportive of Captain America during Civil War against Team Iron Man, and also in Infinity War to save Vision and Wanda, and he was with them to um, what was that? Protect Vision in Wakanda in Infinity War and all that good stuff. And also another thing, when all the Avengers came back towards the end, who was the one that was communicating with Cap, letting them know that he was here? It wasn't Bucky. It was Falcon. Cause like I said, Falcon was always very fond of Cap. He had this respect for him. So, and Cap, I'm assuming felt that and saw that in in Falcon. And also another thing I meant to mention, in Winter Soldier, Falcon was heading this PTSD class for people that were in war and were fighting PTSD and everything. So he felt that, he was able to handle the stress and the responsibility of being an Avenger and also being, a super a super soldier. Well, not really a super soldier and everything, but being the next Captain America. Leading people, fighting the stresses of war. Being able to handle it, and the fact that he's been by Cap's side through thick and thin. So I felt that Falcon was a perfect fit for being the next Captain America. So I really had no issue with that. Like I said, Bucky and Falcon are both Captain America in the comic books, but in this case, I really felt that Falcon was a good choice to be the next Captain America in the next future Marvel movies that they do. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about Avengers Endgame. Like I said, this was an awesome movie. Hope everybody got a chance to see it in the theaters. If not, are enjoying it on DVD and Disney Plus or um, however you're gonna be watching movies nowadays. But yeah, Disney and Marvel have been dominating the box office this year. We've also had some good movies like we had Joker that came out. What else did came out that I saw? Rambo, Last Blood. Oh, how can I forget Godzilla, King of the Monsters? Now, as far as Godzilla, King of the Monsters goes, it was a cool movie. I really enjoyed it. And me being a Godzilla fan, I will say the only thing that I criticize about this movie is that I felt that some of the human characters were very lackluster. I feel that if the writers took more time to develop, have some character development with the human characters alongside with the monsters, I felt that Godzilla King of the Monsters would have been an even better movie. And overall, I really enjoyed, the monsters in the movie. Like Godzilla, he looked really good in the movie. Some of the other monsters, I will say that in terms of Hollywood getting the rights to these iconic Japanese monsters, I feel that they did a really good job and keeping them true to their designs and to their characters. Like Rodan really looked and felt like Rodan. King Ghidorah, he looks like King Ghidorah from his Japanese counterpart and even acted like him. And the only thing that they did do was they changed up Mothra a little bit. They added some limbs for her to, really get into action, really get her to fight more. But overall, Warner Brothers did a good job with staying true to the designs of these monsters, and uh, I'm really looking forward to the next installment, which was Godzilla versus Kong, which if I'm not mistaken, I got heard it was pushed back to November of next year. So, hey, we'll see how that movie turns out. And I'll be discussing about Godzilla versus Kong more as time goes on. In case you guys don't know, this is not the very first time that Godzilla and King Kong have fought each other. They fought back way in 1962 when a Japanese version of King Kong versus Godzilla, and that also came to America like a year later in 1963. So yeah, this is not the first time Godzilla and King Kong have fought each other, but this is just a rematch between the two that has been long overdue for many monster movie fans and movie fans alike. So we'll see how that goes. Overall, I felt that Godzilla King of the Monsters, it was enjoyable. I will say I just felt that they could have done better with developing the human characters.